midnight. My hands. I'm an artiste. Hello, welcome back to Kat Tries to Bake. Today is going to be a video of firsts. I think my dog just sneezed. Bless you! Anyway, today is going to be a video of firsts, and here's what I mean by that. It is going to be my first vegan recipe, my first video without Alex. So if the camera's a little slanted or if I'm not in focus, that's why. I'm doing most of this myself. My husband will come and help me out once in a while, but it's mostly just me, so if it doesn't look perfect, I'm sorry. It is also going to be the first recipe that I've chosen from a video and not from Pinterest. Today we are going to be baking Nadiya Hussain's banana ice cream cheesecake with blueberry compote. Now the reason why I put baking in quotes is because we are not going to be baking at all. We are going to be using the freezer for most of this. I am really pumped to try this recipe because I love Nadiya. Great British Baking Show spoiler alert right now. When Nadiya won whatever season of baking show she was on, I cried real tears. I just thought it was so cool to see somebody who is a person of color, is a woman of color, first of all, win that show, and now she has a cooking show and a baking show, and I've just seen her grow from like this reserved, anxious, self-conscious baker on Great British Baking Show to somebody who is so confident in front of the camera and has like all these crazy amazing things going on. I'm talking as if I know her as a friend. I would really like to be friends with her, so if any of you know her, please hook me up because oh my gosh, I want to spend all my time with her. So I'm taking this recipe from episode 2 of Nadiya Bakes, which is on Netflix. I believe the episode is called Indulgent Desserts or Indulgent Bakes or something, and it's the first recipe on there, so go check it out. It is also my first time using ingredients that are substitutes for like British things. For example, I will be using rolled oats instead of porridge oats because I don't think there's anything called porridge oats in the US, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's also my first time using hazelnuts, and I'm so excited because I love hazelnuts. I'm going to be using light corn syrup instead of golden syrup. Now golden syrup is something that I thought I could find at my local supermarket. Like I looked it up on the website and it said it was there, but then I went and it wasn't, so I just took light corn syrup. I've also never baked anything that's really just freezing it, so I'm excited for that too. Okay, enough talking, let's get started. So first step, it says start by lining and lightly greasing the base and sides of a 20cm round loose bottom tin, 7.5 centimeters deep. So I have a springform pan here. It is a little bit bigger than the recipe says, so I'm just hoping it'll work because it's the smallest one I have. Right before I started filming this, I tried to look up how to line a springform pan with parchment paper because I'd never done that before, and people, like a lot of people were posting about this hack. Okay, so I think you put a piece of parchment paper that's a little bit bigger than the round bottom on, and then you take this and then you push it. Yeah, okay, so you push it over and then you clasp it. Oh, I thought that was gonna be a lot louder. So you have this overhang, right? And then you just like use a scissor or use your hands and rip the excess off. Now I need to also line the sides, I think, and I'm hoping I can just use this excess because I hate wasting paper. Yeah, alright, yeah, okay. Alright, we're getting somewhere. You know, I think it would be easier if I greased the sides a little bit and then lined it because then the lining would stick. I'm going to take a little bit of this coconut oil that I'm going to use later, but I put a little bit excess just in case because the recipe says so. I'm going to take my brush and plop it in and just very lightly brush the sides. I really don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I'm doing it. Okay, hopefully the lining will stick a little bit easier. I'll put that back on the side. So I did my best at lining it. It's definitely not perfect, but you know what? For my first time, not too bad. This is super random, but I realize I haven't said this in any of my previous videos, but I am on social media. I would like for you to follow me. So I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram, katchang0245. Please follow me. Okay, so now that that's lined, I wonder if I have to now also grease. I mean, isn't that the point of parchment paper though? Like parchment paper is supposed to keep it from sticking by itself. I will just lightly grease anyway. I don't think it really shows Nadiya doing this in the episode, so I'm whatever. Just Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. I am going to move this to the side. Now, step 2 says, make the base of the cheesecake by toasting the oats and the hazelnuts in a large frying pan on a medium heat for about 5 minutes until they just start to turn a golden brown, making sure to stir all the time to keep the oats moving. Pop them straight into a food processor and blitz to a fine crumb. Okay, so I know my hazelnuts are toasted. I bought them toasted, but my oats aren't. I am a little afraid to move my camera setup. I'll do it. Okay, so here we are at my stovetop. I'm going to put in my 160 grams of hazelnuts. They are roasted whole hazelnuts, and 160 grams of rolled oats. Plop them in. And now I'm just gonna turn my thing onto medium heat and stir them around a little bit. My oats and hazelnuts are all toasty now, so I'm going to pop them into this food processor that I use all the time but have never taken the labels off of. They're so warm and nice. Now it says to blitz until it's a fine crumb, so I'm gonna pulse it for probably a few minutes. I just finished blitzing them. They look definitely like fine crumbs, so as they say on Great British Bake Off, I'm quite chuffed. Right now I'm going to add my coconut oil and my light corn syrup. Coconut oil, light corn syrup instead of golden syrup, which again I couldn't find. It's so sticky. Woo! I should really be using a spatula for this, but my hand is already here, so why go grab a spatula when I have my hands? It's so sticky. I hate sticky things. I'm gonna wash my hands now. All right, I am going to continue blitzing them until everything clumps together. My food processor's not moving. Hello? Please work. Blitzing is all done, so I'm going to take my mixture out. My pan comes back, and I'm gonna scoop all of this in here. Ooh, it looks very sticky. It smells great, very nutty. Okay, I'm gonna put my food processor in the sink first so I have space. Now I'm gonna take my favorite large spoon and press this thing all the way in until it's nice and flat and smooth. It's a really thick mixture, and I'm just gonna use my hands first. Again, I love using my hands. I just feel like I have more control over everything, and my hands are clean, so why not? It's sticking to my hands, that's why not. If you've ever wondered how real this YouTube thing is for me, I am actually trying all of these recipes for the first time, and I will honestly say I'm a little tired. I'm a little frustrated just because this is so sticky to work with, and I really wanted like a high wall like Nadiya's cheesecake does. I don't know if I'm gonna get that. I bake cheesecakes quite often, not the vegan kind, just regular plain New York cheesecakes, and they're actually one of the more popular items that I sell. So I thought this would be easier, but obviously, like I said before, I've never worked with a crust like this. I've always only used graham cracker crusts, and so this is new for me, and it's a little challenging. Anytime I feel tired or like exasperated, I think of that Kelly Kapoor meme. It's one of my favorite, just anything from The Office ever. Anything to come out of The Office is what I mean. I think I'm close. All right, I finally think I'm done, so I'm gonna put this into the freezer while I work on my filling. This next part involves frozen bananas. I am just now realizing that in the show, Nadiya peeled her bananas and chopped them and then put them in the freezer, which is what I should have done, but I will try and make do with what I have. Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. That's so cold. I'm just gonna try and take my knife. Oh, loud. I'm gonna try and take my knife and like kind of peel the sides as carefully as I can. Okay, it's not too bad. Oh, that's coming off really nicely actually. I just wish I didn't have to do 7 of these. Here I am complaining about circumstances that I put myself into. What's new? We are getting somewhere, everyone. We are on banana number 3 out of 7. And I feel like it's actually becoming easier and easier. I definitely know better for next time though. Like, I'm never gonna do this again. I am all done. Finally, here are my 7 frozen chopped bananas. I can honestly say that I have never peeled a banana like that before, and I never plan on doing it again. Now the instructions say, make the topping by taking out the frozen chopped bananas and adding to a food processor with the golden syrup, cinnamon, and cocoa. As tempted as you might be to begin whizzing, walk away for 5 minutes and allow the bananas to defrost just very slightly so that they process more easily than blitz till you have what looks like a soft scoop ice cream. These are still pretty frozen, so I guess I will leave them out while I wash my food processor from when I used it before, and then put it in the food processor, let it rest maybe a little longer depending on how hard they still are, and then I'll do everything that the instructions say. I just finished washing my food processor and now I am going to throw my bananas in, but they are still pretty hard and frozen, so I'm gonna put my bananas in along with everything else and just let it sit for another few minutes. If you are a baker and you don't own a food processor, you should get one. My food processor is definitely one of my secret weapons because I'll use it to quickly make pie crust. I put my cheesecake filling in because that's the only way I've found so far to get it like really smooth. So definitely get yourself a food processor. In addition to my frozen bananas, I'm also going to be putting in 2 tablespoons of golden syrup, or in my case, light corn syrup, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. So here I go. I'm gonna put my baking cocoa in first just because I would like to reuse this tablespoon, so I'm gonna put it in, and then that way I can just use it right after for my corn syrup. Corn syrup coming right up. It's so sticky. Ah! Okay, no more corn syrup today. Lastly, a half teaspoon of ground cinnamon. That was like a rounded half teaspoon. That's fine. The bananas definitely seem soft enough now, so I'm gonna go ahead and whiz it. Our filling just finished whizzing, and I'm gonna try a little bit. Whoa. Okay, very banana-y, which is fine. I like banana. I definitely also taste that hit of cinnamon. Even though I only put half a teaspoon, it really, like, I feel it. Right now, I'm going to take my base out of the fridge. I'm gonna pour this in. I have my spatula, and here we go. It's super smooth and it definitely looks like ice cream. Okay, I've scooped as much of the filling as I can into my base and I'm just gonna smooth it out. It really looks like a Wendy's chocolate frosty. It's not completely perfectly level, but I tried my best and I'm gonna put this back in the freezer. So my very last step is to make the blueberry compote. It says here, when you are ready to eat, make the compote by adding the blueberries, lemon zest and juice, and sugar to a pan and stirring over medium heat until the blueberries have just softened. This should only take a few minutes. You can make the compote well in advance, and if you do, keep it chilled in the fridge until serving. I'm a little nervous because it doesn't say here. I'm using a recipe from the Happy Foodie, by the way. I didn't mention it before, sorry. But it doesn't say how long to keep my cheesecake in the freezer for, so I'm really nervous that it's not going to be cold enough. But I'll just make the compote and see how it goes. Let me move my processor. Now for this, I'm supposed to use 250 grams of fresh or frozen blueberries. I washed and measured them in advance, so this is perfect. Then I'm going to take half a lemon and zest it and juice it, so I'm gonna do that right now. I have my lemon here all washed and ready to go. I'm just gonna roll it a little bit so it becomes easier to juice once I cut it open. Oh yes, we are massaging. Okay, gonna cut my lemon right in half. Okay, there's a lot of juice in here. Oh, it smells so good. I'm gonna use my favorite little microplane, which I got from Flying Tiger. If you remember, I said in the first episode of this that the Flying Tiger at the mall by my house closed, and now I'm sad. Rip Flying Tiger, the one at the mall just closed. But anyway, here I am zesting. Oh yes, very zesty. I have all my zest here, and I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze. I wish I had one of those cool squeezy juicer things, but I don't, so here we go. Okay, that's pretty good. We are gonna go back over to the stovetop for me to make my compost. Okie dokes, so I'm going to take my blueberries and put them in, my lemon juice, my lemon zest, and my sugar. Now I'm gonna turn my heat onto medium and stir it. Now I remember, because I'm a good student despite all those instances today of me not following directions, that she is a Nadiya, would stir, okay, that's a little loud, would stir, and she said she wouldn't pop all the blueberries, but she would like encourage a few of them so that the juice would bleed into the sugar, so I'm gonna try to do that. So I just did some, quote, encouraging by pressing some blueberries to the side and making them pop just a little bit. I just did this for maybe 3 minutes total. I'm ready to take it off of heat and I need to change the battery in my camera, so I'm gonna do that. Hello. I really hope I'm focused. If not, well, too bad. I have left the cheesecake in the freezer for a little bit. It's been like 45 minutes to an hour, and honestly I have some other things to do, so I think I'm just gonna put the compote in the fridge and then I will film myself putting the compote on the cheesecake and trying it later. So it'll probably be dark outside because it'll be nighttime, but I'm gonna do other things right now. Be back later. Okay, so it's been a few hours. It's been like maybe 3 to 4 hours. I went and did some things that I had to do, and now I am ready to serve this cheesecake. I'm going to take this and put it on this jar. This is also my first time doing this, but I see people on baking show do it all the time. Okay, so put it on. This is what Nadiya does in the episode. And then I'm gonna release the clasp thing. Hello, open please. I'm gonna not do that. The height is making me nervous, so I'm just gonna do my best to pop it out. Oh, I wanna try it again with the jar. Oh yeah, okay. We are in business, people. Okay. Now all I have to do is put the compote on and then it's ready to serve. Plop it on. My very scientific term, plop. Oh yes. Oh yes. Wow, I am, oh, I'm an artiste, I meant to say. I'll just pretend that didn't happen. I really should have put the crust higher there. Please. Wow, that compote tastes so good. Apart from the minor spillage, it looks really beautiful. I am so stoked to just cut a piece out and try it. It looks really beautiful. The compote tastes good from what I've tasted because it's spilled everywhere. And it's melting very fast, so I'm gonna try it right now. Ooh, it's goop. Ooh, it's goopy. Okay, Nadiya. Oh, okay, all right, chill. Oh yeah. This recipe was really easy to follow. It was more steps than I thought it would be. You might hear my dog, but it tastes great. I thought that the cinnamon would be too much from just trying a little bit of the filling by itself, but once you add the blueberry on, it's perfect. I'm very tired now from wiping up blueberry, so I'm gonna finish a slice and put this back in the freezer and enjoy my Friday night. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.